and welcome back to my channel. I am Karina, where we talk about everything hair, especially toppers. And today I'm going to be introducing you to one of UniWigs' longtime toppers, the Claire Topper. Now this topper has been around for a long time, but for some reason I've never reviewed her, even though I've had a Claire for a really long time. So I wanted to talk about why this might be a good option for you, especially if you're new to toppers, and just give you some of the details about Claire. So the Claire I have right here is in 14 inches length and in the color Dusty Ash Brown. Now this is a beautiful color. It's a dimensional color with an ashy undertone, as says in the name, but it has these highlights, especially these little money pieces in front. So there's kind of a good look at the color, both on the underside of the topper and the top side of the topper. So what is neat about this topper is it's a combination of a lace front and a mono top. Let's talk about that in a little bit more detail because it's not something that you see a ton of on UniWigs' website. So the extended lace front is going to be pretty much from this line right here that you're seeing all the way and extends out in front. Now, you're not supposed to wear this with the lace extended all the way out in front. It's meant to be trimmed back to your liking, and I'll do that with you in just a little bit, but I wanted to show you what it looks like out of the box so you're not freaking out when you get it like this and you're like, what am I supposed to do with that weird lace in front? That is meant to be trimmed, but I wanted to show you what it looks like initially. She does have that extended lace, which like I said is from this line up, and then this right in through here is all a mono top. So mono top's a little bit more durable than a lace top would be. So that's really nice because it has the combination of the really sheer lace in the front, but also the durability of the mono top. So this is a great option for those that are new to topper wearing and they want something that's a little bit easier to blend like the lace, but the durability of the mono top. In addition to that, the Claire has a 6 by 6 inch base. So this is really nice if you're new to toppers and you're just trying to figure out how in the world you work with a topper. This is not going to be too much hair. It also has 120% density, so it's gonna be right around the mid-range of density level for UniWigs. UniWigs usually is anywhere from 110% density to 130% density. So this one at 120% density is right in the middle. It gives you just enough hair to be able to work with, but not too much hair to where you don't know what to do because you're not used to having that much hair. One of the other things I want to point out about this cap construction is that you can change the part anywhere in this mono top / lace top area, right in through here. You can move that part around. You are not limited to how it comes. In fact, I think that is one of the best things you can do when you first get a topper to help it look more realistic is move that part to either how you already part your hair and make it look not so perfect. This is a very straight, perfect looking part line, which is great, but we don't always need that perfect of a part line, especially when we're blending our bio hair. An imperfect part line will help with your blending. Now, cutting the lace on your topper seems scary, right? I get that, but don't stress about it too much because it really just comes down to you're just cutting back the lace, do a little bit of at a time, and you can always cut more. You can do this on a wig stand using some T-pins to hold it into place. Personally, I like to be able to move it around and manipulate it a little bit, so I tend to cut it off of a wig stand. I don't typically record myself doing this because I make weird faces and I'm not really graceful about it because I'm very concentrated, but I'll show you kind of the basics of what I do. I like to use a little clip like this to kind of pull back the hair and just keep from accidentally cutting any hairs that you want to keep on the topper. So that's kind of what it looks like on this end. And then I'll go from one side to the other. I'll probably stop in the middle and then pull back the hair on the other side. I'm going to leave about 1/4 of an inch so that I can, if the lace starts to fray with time, I can continue to trim it back, or if I just feel like I need to trim it a little bit more in other areas, that way I have more lace to work with rather than having to go back and wish I hadn't cut as much lace. So Always start small and then you can cut more as you go. So this is kind of what we're looking like so far. That first little cut is pretty easy because there's just not that much happening. And I'm gonna try my best to do it on camera. I'm really not great at cutting this on camera. I'm just avoiding the knots. Some people like to do kind of like a little swiveled, you'll see the edges here are like a scalloped edge. You can get special scissors for that. I don't find that I need to do that. I kind of just make the line not super straight. And what this does is it just makes it easier to blend that lace later on when you're blending it with your bio hair. Okay, and that's kind of the finished look. Not perfect. You really don't want it to look perfect. You don't want a perfect line. It just makes it harder to blend. Now, once I decide where I'm gonna part it, I will probably just trim back that front little lace area right there at the front of the part line, just so that it makes blending that initial transition as easy as possible. But for now, until I figure out exactly where I wanna part her, I'm gonna leave it as is. I don't love the little harsh edges, so there we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and put her on. When putting on your hair topper, I always recommend leaving the pressure clips closed and then placing the topper on your head. You'll notice I have not yet removed or cut back the lace, and that's okay. I'm just going to line up my part line, and I'm going to gently scoop up a little bit of hair, actually as much hair as I possibly can, into these pressure clips, closing them one at a time. And then I like to hang on to the top of the topper as I do the same thing in the back. And I usually like to give it a little bit of a pull where that pressure clip is, and I kind of pull down and scoop up hair into each of the pressure clips. Now, once again, I have not trimmed back that lace, but let's take a look at what she looks like without the lace trimmed. As you can see, it's really nice and transparent, so it'll make blending really easy. And I have a window right in front of me just so that you know what the lighting looks like. We're in natural lighting with the window right in front of me. I don't do any filters on any of my videos. I think that you want to be able to see what the color looks like in real life. And so I try to use natural lighting, no filters. Now my hair is a little bit longer than the topper. This is not something I recommend doing. I am about 2, maybe 3 inches longer. My bio hair is longer than the topper hair. Usually I recommend 1 to 2 inches longer than your bio hair when you're purchasing a topper. This just happens to be the one that I have on hand, and I still wanted to show her to you. But my bio hair is too long for this topper. I don't recommend it because you can kind of see the scraggly ends sticking out, and it just makes blending really, really difficult. And let me actually take her off for you so that you can see what my bio hair looks like in the back without the topper. It also comes with 4 pre-installed pressure clips. These simply snap like so to open up and then close. This is something that you'll scoop your bio hair into, and I'll show you how to put that on in just a second. The great thing about this topper is it can be worn all the way in front of your hairline. In other words, you're not incorporating any of your bio hair into the topper in the front, or you can wear it slightly behind your hairline. I'm gonna show you both ways. It's really personal preference and the type of hairline that you are working with. I'm gonna go ahead and leave the part line where it is, and I'm gonna show you what she looks like placed all the way in front of my hairline first. So I'm not using any of my front hairs to blend this topper. I'm putting it all the way in front of my hairline. Now do keep in mind, I have not done anything to this topper to style her. This is right out of the box, so the hair is kind of falling into my face. This is normal, very typical for out of the box hair. Because it is Remy human hair, this is just what's gonna happen with it when you leave it in the box. What you're gonna wanna do when you get your topper, or what I like to do, is I like to take a round brush or a round brush blow dryer and kind of curl it up and blow dry the hair up and away from my face. That will give it a natural lift, a little bit more natural movement. You're gonna wanna adjust that part line a little bit. I do have other videos about out of the box to on your head kind of styling tips and how to get your hair topper ready to wear. I'll try to link that for you below so you can take a look at that. But this is just to show you the Claire topper and what I kind of do with her initially. So this is right out of the box, like I said, and this is worn all the way in front of my hairline. All right, now we're gonna move her slightly behind my hairline. This is actually my favorite way to wear a topper, is just about 1 centimeter behind my hairline. I think that it makes blending and transitioning so much easier if I'm using my front little baby wiry hairs as a blending tool to kind of help it look like this is my hair, this is my hairline. When you have those front little hairs sticking out, it just helps it create that really natural looking hairline. And usually what I like to do is I like to take a brush, hold on to the front of the topper and brush my bio hair up and through the topper. And this, again, just helps give it that more natural blended look. Okay, you can kind of still see that lace. So what I would do is I would trim back that lace a little bit more, right where I decide to part my topper, so that my bio hair doesn't get held down by the lace in front. So now I'm placing her back on my head. I've trimmed up that lace a little bit and you can already tell it's made a huge difference just in that transition right there. Let's put her on all the way. And then get our brush, brush our bio hair up and through the topper. Yeah, perfect, right? You can't even see that transition. All you see is my bio hair in front, which is just what you want when you are trying to blend your toppers. You really want that focus to be your front little baby hairs, that transparent lace. The only reason you can really tell that I am wearing anything is because, like I said, that really straight part line. But this is such a great option for those that are really new to topper wearing. And what I would do with this, I think some face framing layers always help just blend it in with your face. So I would add some face framing layers to this topper. Especially I would use that curl brush and a blow dryer to blow dry the hair up and away from my face, and throw in a few loose curls into this topper, and oh my goodness, this would be such a beautiful daily wear, lightweight topper, and super easy to help transition yourself to daily topper wearing. And my favorite thing to do is the ear tuck, because I feel like this just helps make it look so realistic and so obvious that you're not wearing a wig. When you do a hair tuck like this, I think this kind of hair tuck is really, really difficult to do with a wig. Not that it can't be done, but it's really difficult to make it look like that. So this just helps it just look that much more realistic, like this is your hair. Let me show you the back. Just provides great coverage, great base size, not too much hair, but decent coverage on the top and in the back. So if you're looking for natural, lightweight coverage that's really beginner friendly, I would recommend the Claire as a really good starting place. The 6x6 inch cap makes it just the right size. The 120% density is not too much hair to work with, but enough to provide ample coverage and get used to your daily topper wearing. If you have questions specific to this topper, please be sure to comment below. I will try to get back to you as quickly as possible, and subscribe for more wig and topper tips and content.